episode XI.
He's not a man. There's nothing more to say.
Glory.
Gia, what up? It's Pep Corsiola. What up, bruh? We back. Tell your girl to get her sports, bruh. We about to go in. Sir Solomon, what up?
Yup.
Yo, we got Champs League roundup. We got the always fucking EPL managerial diva drama. Neymar shacked in a fool and Koo gets the boot. Man, let's put on our boots and get this match started, man. Depot G. All right, back four. Man, we had some pretty fucking awesome games this week, man. We had the debate over which one we were going to start with, man. And Sir Solomon won out here. Quality football over diva dramatics, man. Chelsea, Roma, Champions League, 3-3 draw, man. Tell us about this match, sir.
If you like to see amazing goals, this match was the game to go to. Wasn't really what you would call a defensive standoff, but the Battle of the Edens, as I call it, Eden Dzeko, Eden Hazard, they put out a show, 2 goals each.
Dude,
Started off in the
goal.
11th minute though with your boy Sideshow Bob, David Luiz. When he sets out to shoot, god damn it, he's gonna shoot.
Man.
He hit it, it bounced back to him, he hit it again and it went in.
Dude, straight power, dude. Yeah. That was a sad defensive error, a slight defensive error by them.
Chelsea's 4th goal from outside the penalty box in the Champions League this year.
Oh wow, damn, no doubt. All right, so that got the scoring opened, followed up.
Hazard was there to play. He scored in the 37th minute. But
Yes,
after
sir.
that, when you thought Chelsea had it in the bag, Kolarov, a man known for being slower than molasses, burns the living fuck out of Cesar Azpilicueta. You can call him Dave.
That man, who you would actually say is like
One of the best.
exactly, and like got worked, dude. He got worked.
Like, it's kind of like getting dunked on. Like, you're gonna get done up like that. But like that finish after he got him from that let. First of all, if Roma was forced to only use their right foot, they would have lost 3-0. Edin Dzeko's volley and this goal are left-footed, and then Edin Dzeko scores a header.
Yeah, and Kolarov is like that Luiz, man. All he does is hit power, but this was a little bit of grace from him as well.
That was a wicked move. Only in Italy can somebody that slow look that fast.
True. They're already talking about him being the Serie A signing of the year. That is
they just, I'm sure.
man, for real, dude. That says a lot about your
Have to say,
league, man.
Do you jape?
Well, he is a former KGB hitman, dude. So like, I mean, he probably threatened a few people, man. Either way,
Well, the
That was-
former KGB states were what represented Roma to the maximum because they had Edin Dzeko with 2 and Alexander Kolarov with 1.
yes, sir. And
Edin Dzeko's goals were spectacular. The volley off that left foot, that might be the Champions League goal of the season. Still in the group stages.
dude, that shit
The
was
header was nice, but that was some pitiful defense by Chelsea.
yeah.
And you give Dzeko that chance, is bound to happen. Last week, when the 30-man shortlist for the FIFA Player of the Year happened, these friends of mine on chat, boy, was asking, is Dzeko still around? I don't remember him since he left Manchester City.
What? Really?
Yeah, some people just watch EPL.
Which is yeah, I was gonna say it's respectful, and I think he was like some bullshit for like the first couple years, and then he just like
He was always one of the, like, since he's arrived, he's been close to the top in scoring for the league every season he's been there.
No. I don't think so, man. I think he was like 9 goals the first season in Serie A.
Oh,
Yeah. And then he think he had some injury issues. But last year he just murked the whole league. It was like 35 goals or 39 goals for the whole season or something. But either way,
he's a goal scorer. He's been that.
Yeah.
He's been doing it in Germany, England. He did this thing. If he gets playing time, like he will score and service. And this is Italy.
Yep.
Di Francesco, the coach, Eusebio Di Francesco, plays a standard 4-3-3 with a target man with 2 fast wingers on the outside. Kind of think back to the Didier Drogba Chelsea. Not as impressive, but like concept-wise, okay? And Dzeko, like, he scores, he lays off. Like, that target man is like a good number 9, makes you look like a genius coach.
And for me being a Manchester City guy, man, when I really first started following them, dude, he was like their Giroud, man. He was like that super sub that is just gonna get you the same production in the last, if you play him 20 minutes or play him 90. But I love seeing that dude come in, man.
It's because of injuries. I think that happens when you're like 6'3" or whatever. But like, whenever he's been healthy over the course of his career, all of the places he's been, like, he's a reliable scorer.
And he was in Germany before that, right? Like Wolfsburg, right?
Yeah, we won the championship, and there was a strike partnership of him and the Brazilian called Grafitia. And they finished 1 and 2 in goal scoring, and that's how he went to Man City.
Damn. Yeah, that was my dude, Checo, yo ho.
Check this out, though. Check this out.
Yeah.
On who scored, how they do the ratings?
Yeah.
Chelsea had 2 players above 6.8 for the game. Those were Hazard at 9.3 and Luis at 8.1, right?
Yep.
Roma had 6.
yeah, and it's worth mentioning because I asked you earlier, but it's worth mentioning this game was at Stamford Bridge.
Yes, and Roma dominated. They had 60% of the possession. Like, they showed Chelsea no fear, like, of traveling. Chelsea, you can't blame them. This was a good game. Their midfield issues stood out. Like, this game could really have used the Conte.
Yeah, really could have.
They could have, like, they need something like that. But their ball possession, if you look at it in the league, if you look at it in the Champions League, like, until he's back, they're gonna have to work something out. Like, Conte's doing his thing. He moved David Luiz into the midfield and did a 3-back like over the weekend. But long term, unless they can work out a way to keep the ball a little longer and more accurately, Chelsea.
Yeah. So,
but they turned things around this week. It's been a good week for them.
So I was gonna say, so after the 2 Checo goals, they were up 3-2. 5 minutes later, Hazard hit him up.
Yes, he's a guy that's looking ready to play and just up for the fight this season. They need to get him as involved as possible and find, like, Morata. He didn't have a good game in this one, but one of the goals that Hazard scored was a deflected shot that he took. He needs to work, like, his spacing more towards Dzeko so that they can do 1-2s and stuff. Like, Dzeko likes to get isoed a lot.
Yeah.
And I keep saying Dzeko. Hazard likes to get isolated a lot, but that's not the best outcome for the team. You need to get guys closer to him, fullbacks or wingbacks overlapping, and guys playing.
And I am actually so glad that you said that, because, like, my thought about Hazard is, like, he's a beast, right? But it's like, I always feel like he's working so hard.
Yeah, he does too much hero ball.
Yeah, man. And I mean, it's almost required, and they do rely on him a lot to do that shit. It's not it's like how, Messi in a way. He's not Messi level, but it's like they rely on him in the same way, man. It's like, damn, we can't do nothing, man. Hazard, can you create something for us?
That's what I had a problem with Mourinho, was that his game plan is like, just get it to him and then he'll do something, and he'll either take a shot or cross it to Diego was the thing.
Yep.
And now Conte is, like, so concerned with shoring up the team and, like, filling in for his injured midfielders and lack of depth, that it's more of the same. It's the 3-5-2 now, but they're still like, all right, when you get the ball, get it to Hazard and stay defensively sound.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's making offensive plays for him, and like, I think they could really unlock him if they got him some help.
Man, it was nice. Now, Murata played in that game, correct?
Yeah.
He did, but did he get dropped? Did he get taken off? Or did he play that whole game? He got taken off.
No, I think he got subbed out. Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
He was inconsequential.
Yeah, he was, and you were. I mean, the hope is definitely that he can give Hazard, but he's looking for that service from Hazard as well. Big picture, Chelsea on top of that group, 7 points. Roma in second with 5, and Atletico with the super disappointing 2 points. Their draw. That's a big draw for Roma to
especially like now that they're within 2. That puts more pressure on the finishing games of the group for Chelsea. Had they just put this away, like they're halfway qualified. Now you're only trying to win number 1 spot on your group. But now, until the last day of the group, you gotta put out stronger team. And if they mess up, they might get a second place finish and get a tough draw. So like Chelsea dropping points at home, although I love this game, might have large consequences for them. Especially
for Chelsea not being the deepest of teams, you know, that can definitely affect them in their rotations. So that's a good point as far as them needing to put out a strong team going forward. Okay, cool. That was an awesome game, man. It was we're gonna cover the rest of the Champions League in our midfield section a little bit later. There was some interesting results, but we're gonna move on over to the drama of the weekend. Maybe not the best football, but definitely the most storylines. Le Classique.
I don't know. Liverpool had a lot of storylines.
No. We're gonna get to that later, man. Oh, they got some storylines, that's for sure, man. But Marseille, PSG. This is at Marseille at the Velodrome. Yeah, 2-2, man, 2-2. Tell us about it.
It's hard to go to Africa and get points. The atmosphere, like, so the Spanish equivalent would be a game to like Athletic Bilbao, like the Marseille, the old school fans, and where the city is and what the fan base of the city is and everything.
Yep.
You look at it and they are looking to cause absolute pandemonium whenever some newfangled Arab team from Paris comes down to tell, like, they don't even recognize Paris. Like, they've been around so long and they're the most supported team that the hate is real. And to that point, to get things started even before the match, our boy Danny Alves said, honestly, I don't know one player on the team. He has Brazil national team teammate who scored in the game on the team.
I mean, hey man, way to boost,
after
get your
that 7-1 against Germany, he don't remember him. Like Luis Gustavo, what? Nah, I don't know him. Like Mariah Carey, I don't know her.
But to your point, man, like, quite arguably, man, they're the biggest team in France, and it's, man, that's
sport-wise, not even quite arguably, they are.
Yeah. So they, you're way to get that jump in, Danny. That's what we love you for. but tell us about the run of play a little bit.
The run of play, Marseille's concept was this: we're not going to be able to keep up possession for possession with this team, so let them have possession, and we're going to clog up the middle so that they don't get shots. And it fucking worked.
And they did not get shots.
PSG took 11 shots and had only 3 on target, which is about one Mo Salah day.
Nope, other way around. They had 7 shots. Marseille had 11.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, so not even 10 shots. I mean, you think about.
So that's like even less than Mo Salah on a Tuesday.
It is true, man. It is true.
just to give you an idea, like they spent like 100 something million here and the 300 million there, and they can't sweep Marseille, right? Like you might have to spend a little more money on your coach.
True. Yeah, so they opened
PSG had 23 successful dribbles take-ons.
Yeah.
To Marseille 6. But Marseille had 29 tackles to PSG's 14. They're like, okay, you can get, nice move. You didn't see me because I'm on the floor tackling you.
Take that.
Get that weak shit out of here. So Neymar kind of, after that Gustavo stunner, fucking stunner.
It was beautiful, yeah. It was like, dude, it was like way out. It was a good 6-7 yards out of the box.
Yeah. Like a little further than I think the David Luiz one. Mm-hmm. Hit beautifully. I don't know why. Like you look at the stats and stuff, and they tried to give who was that? The money grabbing content, Dimitri Payet. Oh, yeah, they tried to give him an assist. He just made a sideways pass in the middle of the field, and the guy decided to fucking shoot it from halfway across the field, and he scores. How do you get an assist for that?
Yeah, definitely. They need to redefine assist. I mean, damn. But Neymar brought it back.
Yeah, because he scored a really nice goal, tight angle, a little grass cutter.
What was that? A nice 1-2 with Rabiot, I think.
Rabois,
yeah,
whatever the fuck that dude is. Like, he's okay, but PSG is a little top heavy, man. Their back line and their midfield needs to be upgraded if they're gonna have, Neymar.
It does.
There's a little too much hero ball.
Yep. Well, why exactly did they sell Luiz again?
Huh?
David? Why did they sell David Luiz again? They sure looked like they could use him, is my point.
Yeah, I think they could have used the 30 million that they got for him more than they could use him
Absolutely.
At the time of trying to make those big purchases.
Absolutely.
But
so halftime,
Marquinhos is the only defender that's like close to being a world-class player. Like that's the Thiago Silva is past his prime.
Yep.
And then in front of them you have Thiago Motta as the holding midfielder.
Yeah.
Like that's not the kind of speed you need for a team with Neymar on it.
We talked about Thiago Motta, the fact that that's my question. I was like, he's still playing? He's starting?
I know you're this Arab revolution and you're trying to reinvent football, but trying to put a statue in the middle of a stadium is not the way to do it.
True, man. So 1-1 at half, man. They Marseille came. Had a nice. That second goal was pretty nice too, I thought.
Yeah, Merck, the dude on the side, he completely undid the left back before he cut it back in for that nice ass finish. And again, Thiago Silva just got like shook. Marseille, for having 33%, created the two best moments in the game.
No, it's true. And too, the thing that amazed me about that second Marseille goal was that the grappling that went on. That would have definitely been a foul in like 3 out of the 5 big leagues, man.
But that's that's a beginning note that keeps going in the Neymar sending off situation. And he's a petulant little bitch, so if he gets sent off, fine. But like when you look at the situation, France is the last of the major big 5 that still has some semi-professional referees. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The quality of refereeing is like needs to come up now that you're buying Neymar and Mbappe costs 100 million and you're trying to market your league to the rest of the world and like you can't have just Joe Schmo come and do this. You know what I'm saying? You gotta professionalize it completely.
Exactly. So the big moment of the game happens about 12 minutes later, right near the end of about 10 minutes later, right near the end of regulation. Our boy, the Brazilian wonder Neymar, gets 2 red cards and 2 yellow cards in 2 minutes and gets sent off.
That's very petulant. Like it does.
You were in League 1, like you signed up for this, bruh.
Yeah, and like, it was kind of poetic justice to see the dude do the little flop. and get him his yellow card. I was like, okay,
Yep.
like that's your move. So why not?
Yep, for sure. So, let's talk a little bit about that red card, though, that he got. Because, the name of our podcast is Diving for Glory.
Like I said, that's what I meant by the poetic justice. the guy just... Either Neymar's breath is extremely pungent, and it just took him off his feet.
This dude has at least 6 inches on Neymar, dude. Like, he was towering over Neymar, dude.
He's seen Neymar scrap dope. He's like, oh, I'm down. I'm down.
Took the dive, dude.
He's like, man. And then Verratti came and tried to just pick him up like the dude is going to stop pretending.
With his jersey, yeah. I always love that. That always happens, dude.
So, yeah, and then he's explaining to people, he's like, he's pretending. And they're like, yeah, we know. Let him finish.
yeah, get out of here so we get this yellow.
You need to talk to your boy who's busy getting sent off over there. That's what you need to do.
Oh, man, that was great. So, yeah, Neymar sent off, man. So, 10 men for the...
I think Neymar and Dani Alves... You're gonna remember a couple of names now. They'll know about Marseille.
Yeah, for sure.
Why is it that in sports, every time somebody says they don't know the other team, they get fucked up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. It's like the weakest form of disrespect, and then you're just like you're giving them bulletin board material. All day, man. But man, PSG was not to be undone.
No. The best. Did you see that Neymar afterwards claimed he did not lose his head?
Oh yeah, no, he said he didn't, did he? Yeah.
He looked collected.
He didn't punch him. He didn't stab him. He didn't, he didn't throw a baguette at him like they said the Marseille fans did to him.
Yeah, they threw all types of food. He was like, I could have had lunch.
Dude,
maybe that would have put him in a better mood. You have to take a bite out of the baguette, you're not swinging at people. I don't know.
Those baguettes can get kind of hard, though, son. Straight up. But, yeah, man, so PSG was not to be undone, though, man.
You should be glad they weren't throwing falafel and shit at him.
Straight up, dude. No doubt. But, yeah, man, PSG not to be undone. 93rd minute. Our favorite big moment trigger actually stepped up, man. Cavani.
Yes. Now, in addition to the penalty controversy, PSG also on their hands have a free kick controversy.
Yep.
Cavani hit this free kick magnificently off the crossbar, bounces in. Now Neymar's going to come back from suspension and want to take some free kicks, and they're going to fight over those.
It's perfect.
I like it. All for a fucking bullshit draw.
Perfect. But it was a nice free kick. It was a nice free kick, though, man.
It was fucking spectacular. There was like a lot of really good goals this week.
It was, man. But 2-2, man. That puts PSG up by 4 on Monaco. Marseille sitting 5th at 18 points, 8 points back of PSG. So, I mean, semi-important result, but it's not going to derail the PSG train.
It's not bad, but like Marseille and Lyon and Monaco are good enough to keep you honest. Like, not good enough to win it. PSG is going to win the league, but you need to have a couple of other good teams in your league so that you're used to playing higher competition when it comes to the later rounds of the Champions League. And that keeps you on your game. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And real quick before we move on, one thing Mbappe said is that he's like, dude, the refs need to get with it, man. We got better players. We need better refs.
Yes.
And I don't know how the Ligue 1 does their referees, but apparently they have a very small group that are full-time, so-called elite referees.
I don't think there's any part-time employees in France. I mean, full-time employees in France.
Straight up, man. But there's plenty of elite, or at least in their mind. Either way, man, let's move on. Let's move on to the EPL, man. We got
let's get the fuck out of this.
Yeah, man. couple interesting.
Too much merde.
Too much mad. Too much.
Très merde.
Beaucoup mad. With all that being said, man, let's move on. England, what looked like the matchup of the week on paper turned into a drubbing. Friendly Wembley, Tottenham, Liverpool, 4-1 Tottenham. Tell us about it.
Yes, well, one team, hadn't lost to the other team in like 10 previous, and that team was Liverpool. And in one game, they made up for their whole streak of beating and tying Tottenham. It's difficult to have a solid game when you get hit up for a dumb defensive mistake within the first 5 minutes and you start the game off 1-0. But when you start the game off 2-0 in 12 minutes, I don't know what the fuck you can do. Like, we can't even really, we go through some stats and we'll talk about it. Like, we'll discuss this game, but we can't really look too much into the stats because they start off at 2-0 in 12 minutes.
Yeah, Mr. Kane. You just got Kane.
Harry Kane.
If you have a moment, if we could get that tweeted, that would be fucking awesome, dude. You just got caned, man. YouTube that shit, man.
Yes.
Anyway, Harry Kane opened up the scoring, man.
With a complete fucking defensive
clusterfuck.
Yeah.
A Lovren fuck.
Yes, it should just be called a Lovren. That
It's
should be a patented move because he does it all the fucking time now.
He did it twice in this game.
In less than 32 minutes.
Hey, that's all he was on the field for.
Busy
man.
guy.
Zoo.
But he fucks up. Kane, to his credit, does spectacularly on the finish. Like, that's the thing. It was 4 fuck-ups that led to 4 goals. But all 4 of the goals were spectacular also. Like, Tottenham did their part. They didn't just come in and tap and shit. There was 2 volleys.
Yep.
They
had the one poacher goal. Kane's second goal was a poacher goal.
True, but he didn't let it touch the ground either though. Like, he volleyed that shit.
He caught that. It's true.
Like, degree of difficulty was more than just like some tap-ins, you know?
Yep, for sure.
And even after the defender fucked up repeatedly, they would still have another defender that would catch them and decide, no, I'm not interested. That guy's name is Matip. Just because Dejan Lovren is terrible doesn't mean that we can't talk about this guy. Yeah. He recovered on the... First of all, you can't get hit on a break where it's Hugo, whatever the fuck that dude, Lloris, throws it, and then the dude gets it, and they score. Like, Harry Kane gets the ball, and then he assists it to Son. Like, why? Because you have a defender that can't hit a basic header.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't no curve on it, no power.
Yep.
It was a hand-thrown ball. At midfield, like, how do you not know?
And definitely some credit to Kane there, because he did give a gorgeous, perfect pass to put it right on the money for Son.
It's easy to do so when the guy that's marking you just decided to walk off. Like, you saw Coutinho's head drop when he missed that header. We were watching that game. We had to rewind that shit, dude. His head dropped. I was like, of course. And that Kane, it's a good assist. He made the move, but it's a player of his caliber. If you whiff on your chance, so he has a clear run-in and he's meeting everybody at his own speed of comfort. Yeah, he's gonna do you. And
this was like, man, this is what Liverpool's been doing this year, man. So explain, like, where does the blame go here, man? Explain a little bit what's really going on.
A majority of the blame has to go to Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah,
because and just the Liverpool player scouting system that they have in place is shit.
Yeah.
Especially on the defensive front. Supposedly in 2014, when they wanted to buy a defender, their scouts, you know what their response was? there aren't any out there that are good enough to play for this team.
There's nobody better than who we already have. Okay.
And that applies to no team ever. Like, you should always be reinforcing your team, you know?
Yep.
And let alone, like, this bullshit.
Yeah, at the very least, you want competition at your spots. Like, come on, dude. You know?
Dejan Lovren had a season where he was good. One season at Southampton.
He's had 3.
You know what's funny?
What?
He just got beat by his Southampton coach, Pochettino.
Yep.
That guy, after the game, should have just moved into clubs here and been like, you know what? I know how to use that dude. Holla at your boy.
Holla at your boy, because you had him out there. We talked about that. He was out there on an island. We're like, dude, how many
There
times?
was nobody within like 20 yards in either direction of this guy. And when your defense is your weakness, when he was playing at Southampton, not that Morgan Schneiderlin is the best thing in the world, but like he's lost a step after his knee surgery, but when he was playing in Southampton, he played a solid like sit-back defense and Morgan Schneiderlin covering in front of him. Like, ever since he came here, first it was Gerrard playing the holding midfield role. Yep. He's a glory hunter, so whenever things go whatever, like he's just going in to try to take a shot from 30 yards out, so he's exposed. Ever since then, it's been Jordan Henderson, Emre Can, different guys playing in front of him, but it's like they have bad defenders and a system that requires excellent defenders.
Excellent defenders, yeah. So Klopp gets a lot of the blame here. 4-1, man. It was ugly.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. It was ugly. It was both, man. It was both. Just depends what you decided to watch.
Mo Salah scored a nice goal.
Yeah, Laurie should have cut that though, man. But I'm with you. He did. He finished it nice.
Yeah,
Laurie should have cut it.
I agree, but
You need to cut it.
yeah, 7 Tottenham players rated higher than 7.
Liverpool players? Wow.
And then-
Oh,
no, no,
higher
Tottenham
than
players.
7. Okay, got you.
And then, when I tell you 7 of them did that, Winks and Eriksson got 6.9.
Yeah.
Sanchez was 6.7. Toby was 6.3. Like, they completely just relaxed and had a nice run out.
Yep.
Did you see the stats for most away goals conceded so far this season?
No, I haven't, man. Tell me about them.
Crystal Palace has 12,
Yep.
bottom of the league.
Yep.
West Ham has 11. We can't have 3 soccer conversations without discussing whether Slaven Bilic is getting fired. Stoke, 11. They got fucked up on the road a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Liverpool, 15. They have allowed 3 more away goals, goals against them in away games than Crystal fucking Palace.
3-point bottom of the table, 1 win, 8 loss, Crystal Palace.
So we can't point to a player. Like, this is systemic. This is not Tottenham that came and did this to them.
This is a total failure to address anything in the summer.
Yeah, they just went and did that embarrassing bullshit with the lesbian virgin,
Yep.
Virgil van Dijk,
Yep.
and that was it. They were like, okay, we're good. We're just going to tell them the guys that were bad are going to be good this year.
Yep. All right, man, enough of this game, man. End of the day, Tottenham sitting lovely at 20 points. Third place, only
As
down
lovely as 5 points behind first can get.
Hey, man, still got to play them twice. And our boys, Liverpool, sitting 9th. They're not even looking at Europe at this point, man. Anyway, let's move on to a pretty fucking big upset this week. Not maybe pretty fucking big, but, you know.
It's pretty fucking big.
Yeah, it was. You know, we're talking about a promoted team, Huddersfield United, 2-1 Huddersfield. Tell us, man. Tell us what happened.
What makes it a big upset? Huddersfield were winless in their last 6 Premier League matches before the game.
Wow, dude. Josie didn't cry about injuries, though. I'll give him that.
David Wagner. Wagner.
Hit him up.
German, coach of Huddersfield, during last season's championship playoff to go to the Premier League, he told his teams, if you have passion and desire, you have no limits. And that speech plus his tactical acumen got them through the playoffs, and they came here. And yesterday's game, that could have defined it. If you have passion and desire, you have no fucking limits.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had only 22% of the ball.
That's like nothing, dude.
And they won. They didn't tie.
That's like headers. That's just like headers all game.
Yeah, that's just aerial dudes and the clearances. You know?
Yeah, straight up, dude. They went up 2-0 in the first half.
I don't know if anybody has, like, Dejan Lovren, if you're at home crying, you should just turn on a Lindelof highlight, a low light. It'll make you feel good. He came in for Phil Jones. Because Phil Jones, like, you know you're a fuck up when you make teams miss Phil Jones.
Yeah,
who is
real.
most famous? Just Google Phil Jones' face and do image. And you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So he comes on for Phil Jones in a backline that features Ashley Young and Antonio Valencia, who are two wingers who have now become defenders. And they're doing okay, but they're not fucking defenders. And in the middle, there was Smalling and Phil Jones. This is not a defensive four that inspires any fear or whatever. Mm-hmm. And you take out Phil Jones and you bring in Lindelof, and it's just a shit show. Mata gets dispossessed, and like people just don't know how to space. All of a sudden, Moy is just running down there. He says, like, he lays it off, instincts the shot, instincts it, and flips Lindelof back and forth. Like, he just put him on skates, son. Mm-hmm. He shoots David the G.
Yeah, that G.
You should be called MC8.
Yeah.
Should we call him MC8?
G.
Gia.
The Gia. Yeah.
But he makes a nice save. And
She normally does.
Moy just comes and does it. Like, you can't have professionals take like 2-3 shots one-on-one on your goalkeeper in one move and expect to survive it. They take the 1-0, and then he completely whiffs on a clearing header a few minutes later. Exactly like 6 minutes later, and it's 2-0. I don't know what it's up with all these defenders that are missing clearing headers. That is the job. That is the job.
Is the job as a header, as a defender, man.
That is where it starts. Don't care how good you are playing the ball. And that doesn't even... How do you miss it?
Whew. Dude. 2-0?
Yeah.
2-0.
And looking comfortable. Manchester United, interesting Jose Mourinho stat. He's a legend. Has won everything. He's a bitch. Has complained about everything. You know what he's never done? He's never won a Premier League game when he's been down 2 goals.
Never. That's fascinating. That is fascinating. And when you say it, like, relatively not surprising.
Yeah, but like when you're like the number one shit talker in the whole world,
For sure.
you gotta have one comeback from 2 down.
You would think, man. You would fucking think. Yeah, I mean,
and it's directly related to him because it's his team that he puts out. Like, I understand Pogba's hurt, but this is an imbalanced, slow team that inspires no fear. You're one guy that's like really has the upside to become something spectacular. Pogba, of course, is injured, but like Rashford, he's showing him no respect.
Nope. Started on the bench. You brought him on.
Dude, Jesse
and
Lingard. Jesse Lingard
dude,
gets to play.
I know. And the goal scorer for United to bring it 2-1 was
Rashford.
Yep.
And I don't know how you're not trying in this age of flimsy defenders, how you're not trying to play Rashford and Lukaku and just bully some guys sometimes.
Like, as if that wasn't what was working so grandiosely in the first few matches. I mean, granted, they didn't play anybody.
And if you're Jose Mourinho,
Field, homie.
and you want your team shape to not change, crossing it to a couple of big dudes and telling everybody else to sit back is kind of a decent way to do that.
Yep.
Like, this is the time you do that move.
And Rashford's like, he's not just big, he's fast as hell too, man. He's like he creates problems. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. Like, Marshall and Lingard, to me, they're redundant. They're just fast guys. Like, they don't have a lot of
greed. Hell yeah.
If you have speed, they're not a problem. Like him, he's a menace.
Yep.
He's a force to be reckoned with. Like, put him in there.
Yep. No, true.
And then after he ties it, look, you can't play against Huddersfield. I don't care if it's away, but you can't only have 9 shots with 3 on target when you have 78% possession in a game. Like, that shows that you have no ideas coming out of midfield.
Yeah.
That midfield, and if you want to play Mata and Herrera together, just figure it out and do it. Like, Mourinho only looks like his teams only practice the defensive side of the ball. Like, he's not concerned with offensive fluidity at all.
Man, we've been and this is the same story. We've been
But the thing about this game was that they were on a decent run until the Liverpool game, and him being a bitch and completely killing their momentum, you can tell the team. And then after the game, he went out, talked mad shit about Ander Herrera and the whole team and how they didn't play. What he values is passion and all this shit. And it's like, you put out a team that was clearly not prepared for the fight.
And the best part about this is that they got Tottenham and Chelsea back to back.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get a lot of opportunity to talk shit about his team, about his opponents, about the refs. Put out a better fucking team.
Yeah, and don't whine about your injuries, dude. All right, man, enough of this shit. Let's move on. Get on to the midfield.
Let's go.
All right, we're gonna kind of continue this theme, man. Huddersfield, one of the notable things about the EPL so far, I think, is the newly promoted teams, man, are doing. I think some of them are. I think they're exceeding expectations in a way. If, let's say, 39, 40 points is gonna get you, gonna save you, they are, a quarter of the way there, quarter through the season, so they're on pace. Brighton and Huddersfield, Brighton Hove,
Benson and Hedges Albion.
Yeah. 11 points, Huddersfield with 12, and then the stars here for the moment in this discussion, Newcastle with 14, sitting 7th on the table. How does this happen, man? Is this we're looking at?
It's a confluence of many things.
We're looking at Everton, West Ham, Leicester, teams that are, well versed in Premier League, and former champion Leicester. Like, they're all sitting above these guys, man. Tell us why, man.
Well, with Leicester, the anomaly is that they were former champions, not that they're where they are right now. If you look at their history, they're a seesaw team that goes up and down. So they're playing their role perfectly. The outlier is the championship season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's a mix of the bottom, like, half of the league, not even more than that, is very, very, very aggressively mediocre. And it's been that way, like, last season and this season, like, for a few seasons. There's a huge drop-off. And a lot of these teams, one of the main reasons is that there's no longevity with the coaches. And that, like, there's a culture of firing, getting a new guy, putting the assistant in, temporary coach, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when these 3 clubs come up, they have Brighton and Hove Albion as the Premier League's sole, I think, black manager, Chris Houghton.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Big respect. That's why they're Benson and Hedges Albion.
Oh, shit. No doubt, man.
But he he's been in the championship playoffs with other teams before. He actually, funnily enough, was a managed Newcastle also until the owner, who's a complete tool, went back on his word and just sacked him for no fucking reason. But he's a really good manager. David Wagner, I don't know much about him, but after watching the Manchester United game, I'm kind of impressed. But Huddersfield has not, like, I think if they turn that result and keep going with it, it's good. But the main thing, Newcastle has Rafa Benitez, the fat Spanish waiter.
Yeah, Champions League winning Rafa.
Champions League, Europa League. I mean, it was called UEFA Cup back then.
Yep.
2-time La Liga winner. Like, he's decorated.
Yep.
But the thing is, these three teams have coaches that are secure and have been on the team for a while. They're teachers too. Like, there are certain kinds of coaches. At the top end, when you get to like Conte and stuff, you get the tactical guy that it's assumed if you're at Chelsea, if you're at Man City, that you know the basics of football and positioning and formations. That if the coach changes them up, you can do it. What you need if you're one of the relegation strugglers or bottom teams is somebody like Rafa, who's an amazing teacher of the game and tactician too. But like, his teams are so solid. Like, this is what Newcastle should have been. It's a semi-decent big team that just has been chaotic. If they could just keep this guy around after the sale that the owner's trying to do, Mike Ashley, that's a great hire. Like, he might not be top tier anymore, but Newcastle level, like, they got lucky with him based on how unlikable he is.
And you know, like, there was something that, for me at least, because I wasn't really a soccer head, football head when he was in his when he was in his Liverpool days and such. So I never had the hate for him, and I really liked that when they hired him at Newcastle and they still got relegated. Dude was like, no, I'm sticking around. And he worked that shit, man. He worked them in the championship last year. Did they win the championship?
And Mike Ashley, at various times, has broken a lot of promises. Like, if we get promoted, we'll get you more players. Like, and he hasn't come through for him on a lot of things.
Yeah.
And yet he's still making it happen.
Yeah.
He's showing ultimate professionality. This is amazing. This is really good professionalism, and it's really good.
For sure.
Excuse my English, I'm African.
Nah, that should that adds a little bit of intrigue. Not your voice. The the EPL.
And my voice.
It does add intrigue, actually.
But these three teams are early in the season. I don't know about Huddersfield and Brighton and Hove.
Yeah.
But like you said earlier, they're getting a decent haul of points. Yeah. Huddersfield has gone 3-3-3 over the course of the start of the season.
Yeah.
They have a goal difference of -3, which they should work on, but it's not disastrous. They have 12 points and they're in 11th place. Brighton is 3-2-4, -1 goal difference, 11 points. Like,
it's respectable.
Yeah, it's like for a team like Huddersfield that, had a 1-6. Like, now they have, three wins. Like, they're happy.
Yeah.
Newcastle, 4 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses, plus 5 goal difference, 16 points. Like, Rafa looked at that season in the championship as a building season. Now he knows his troops. In a way, the Mike Ashley not buying players, even though longer term is going to be shit. Like, start off the season, he's playing with familiar guys. He's playing them nice.
Yep.
It's been really impressive.
Yep.
Slaven Bilic needs to take note. And this is like a week where cats have just been dropping. Like, you need to step up.
But Slaven has done the smart thing. He has not came out and declared that the board supports him. Because as soon as he does that, it's done. And just for the sake of that, of noting that they got smashed by Brighton on Friday, 3-0, dude.
Yep.
At home.
And that made their life, like, that's expected to be a comfortable win for West Ham, because West Ham is one of those teams that's bad but has ambitions of and they think they're much better than they are always.
Yep.
Because they always have one or two flashy players.
Yep.
And their fans would have expected that Brighton win.
Not a 3-0, dude.
They got done up.
So, on that note, man, let's move on to our boy who did have the support of the board last week at least. Ronald Koeman got the boot, man. Tell us about this dude, man.
And Dutch football is not a good year. They can't wait for 2017 to be finished, man.
Smash City, dude got worked by
So
Arsene.
Holland doesn't make the World Cup, right?
Yep.
First coach fired in the Premier League is Frank de Boer
Done.
from Holland.
Yep.
Third coach fired from the Premier League is Ronald Koeman. In the middle, Leicester made a little time to show Craig Shakespeare some love or lack thereof and gets rid of his monkey head.
Never made sense to me anyway. But Koeman, man, this writing for most of us was on the wall. And they just hammered it. Arsenal just hammered it home, man.
Yeah, I mean, last week he had an ultimatum. If you don't, basically everybody on Twitter was talking about if he has to win to save his job. If he loses, he's gonna get fired. So he tied. He was like, checkmate, your move.
So they didn't get rid of him.
So they're like, alright, let's see what happens. And all you have to do is be patient. This week, Idrisu Gana Gueye decided to take the knife that's been sitting in his in his socks and stick it in Koeman's heart by getting a red card in the middle of a contentious game that they were kind of lucky to be in.
A game that was 1-1 at halftime, and they at least looked active and like they weren't going to just get blown out the water. But
yeah, they were hanging on by some threads, not a thread, but a few threads. Arsenal still looked decent,
Yep.
and it was one of those games where Everton has taken points off Arsenal before. Arsenal looks better than them, but that doesn't mean shit. They still get the points.
Yep.
But nah.
Nah.
He left.
Dude, yo, Arsenal with 30 shots, 14 on goal.
Dude, there's a lot of angry old white men. Ronald Koeman. Angry, looking murderous. Was that Kenwright or something? David Kenwright, the chairman.
Yeah.
He looked constipated and diuretic at the same time. Is it diuretic? I don't know. He looked like he had constipation and diarrhea. That was like somebody's getting fired.
No, it totally looked like it, dude. Alexis brought that home with that last goal, and which really was just like.
I told you that was the one. I was like, okay, that's
the one that gets him fired, dude.
Because
Yeah.
Nacho showed complete unprofessionality. I think.
Yeah.
My ESL teacher needs to be fired.
And it's sad. It's real bad when you go from being rumored to take over Barcelona to getting canned 10 games into to your Everton season, dude. Like, it's tough out there, homie.
Well, it's the players that they bought over the summer didn't help the case, but they were his choices.
Yep.
And like Gylfi Sigurdsson, Wayne Rooney, Davy Klaassen, they all play number 10 as a supports to the main striker.
Yep.
For this to work, you need two things. One, to let that player play in that position, because neither one of these three players are very versatile. Two, you need a striker.
Yep.
Which,
You sold yours and didn't really replace him.
yeah. So, every good Ronald Koeman team in his career, PSV, Ajax, Holland, he's coached, he's got work done, you know? Like, he's been a Benfica, got fired, been a Valencia.
Mm-hmm.
And his teams have success when they have a true number 9. His system is built for a target man. And Gylfi Sigurdsson it's been tried before. If you play him like outside on the wing or something, like Tottenham did when they took him, because Eriksen is better than him, he can't play. Like, he can do one thing very well, but you can't move him. Rooney, I don't know if he's the one that you want to make your number 10, but like to me right now, Wayne Rooney is a super sub.
Dude.
Like that would be a really good use for him, I think.
The really sad part, if it wasn't for Rooney, you could take 5 points off the 8 that they have.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Rooney is the only player that has taken points off in City in the league.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Exactly.
But Koeman handled that Barkley situation completely retarded. Because what do they need right now? They need good wing play to move the ball. They're too narrow. Barkley can play on the wing.
Yep.
He tried to tell him the kid didn't want to go. He's still around. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But like that was a fucking shit show that somebody has to be accountable for.
Oh man, damn.
The other time they said after. Oh, sorry. We didn't mention that in the middle of the week they made time out of their busy schedules to get into a fucking brawl at Lyon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay, so like not only are they not performing, like he's lost control of them too.
Yeah.
Ashley Williams, the Welsh guy, the black dude, the defender.
Yeah.
He should have been sent off in that game. They described his form this season as spotty. And some guy on Twitter said, that's just a funny way of saying shite. And he said, I found a new way of using the word shite.
Yeah, spotty. Yeah. Anyway.
So, when players get worse under you and discipline gets lost, then you're just dropping points. Even though the team that's built isn't good, we're not looking at the direction where it's going to be improvement. It's like, and it's desperate time. So if you can just switch out the manager and get new manager syndrome and win 3 games and get 9 points, it's worth getting rid of him. Like this is desperate times right now. You're in the relegation zone.
Absolutely, dude. Yes, that is all they can hope for, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be a major thing to see Everton go down.
But unlucky because like that was one of the worst, like hardest starts to a Premier League that Koeman could have wished. They've pretty much played everybody.
It's true. But, you know, I brought up the point, man, that, you know, the last 2 matches before this was a Burnley loss and a draw to Brighton, I think.
I get what you're saying. But the point being...
Yeah, they played Chelsea, they played
hard
City.
To get shit on a bunch of times and still just get up for these games, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you kind of want them to be spread out because you know how long it takes a manager to like build his team up again after getting fucked up. Like when a shitload of those games happen at the beginning of your season, it can really take a toll. And then when they have their injuries, it was a confluence of many things that just he has to go, but it was also quite unlucky.
A couple weeks ago, they drew Apollon Limassol in Europa. Like, it hasn't been pretty, man, no matter who they play. They got worked by Atalanta. I mean, they're getting worked in Europa as well. Like, it just hasn't been pretty, man.
Yeah.
Tough schedule.
Getting worked in Europa is standard for a team that's not doing good in their league. Like, when you go to these smaller clubs, like to these smaller venues, that club is like champion of a small league and have played together and are feeling hype. Like, you're coming in off getting slapped around, your team morale is lower. You know, it's not... Playing in Europe when you're doing bad exposes you. It doesn't matter who you're playing. The travel, you're not as hype. It snowballs, you know?
Yeah. No, it's true. No, that's right. To your point, they have played Manchester City, which they drew. They lost 2-0 to Chelsea, 3-0 to Tottenham, 4-0 to Manchester United, and 5-2 to Arsenal. That's almost 20 goals, dude.
I don't think anybody else has played all those teams.
No, hell no.
That's also... I mean, I get it. They haven't acquitted themselves good at all, and he should be gone.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
they're
the only team that has got all these.
Played all that. No, I agree. It's been a brutal fucking start to the season.
Yeah.
Move on, man. This
goes back to, like, he should have been prepared better for it.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Steal a game, son.
Let's kill this, man. This dude is done. We don't even talk about him the rest of the year.
All right, P.
We're going to move on, man. Real quick Champions League roundup. All right. Champions League, man. There was a lot of interesting results. We're just going to run through them, touch on a few briefly. We'll start with what I thought was one of the more interesting games, the City-Napoli game. City prevailed 2-1. This was at the Etihad. I cannot wait for the return match at Napoli. But first 30 minutes just fucking devastating by City, followed by 60 minutes of sloppiness.
Yeah, as good as City looked in those 30 minutes, Napoli could have actually got left with a tie. Like, Ederson had to save a penalty for them to get that 2-1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was a good display, but this season they've started in the league to put their foot on people's necks, and they need to start doing that in the Champions League too.
That's true. They have not lost in Champions League yet, but that was like, yeah, they definitely need to smack a win. A win at Napoli will secure qualification, and pretty much give them the group. That'll be major.
Yeah, it's away at Napoli is easier said than done, though.
Oh hell yeah, dude! I can't wait, dude.
Yeah,
that should be a good game, and I wouldn't be surprised if they lost that game.
Nothing would surprise me in that game. I just think it's going to be a really good open football game.
Yeah, fun. 2 weeks from now. All right, another interesting result would be Madrid-Tottenham 1-1 at the Bernabeu. This is a major, it just lets you know Tottenham has been a consistent force here for a number of years, and it's not to say that they're on Real Madrid level, like we know they're not, but at the end of the day, man, you walked into Bernabeu and walked away with a point.
Like how you call it Bernabeu.
Boo! Always, son. Always.
But it took a Varane own goal to secure the points, but the run that they're having and how they're playing 90 minutes toe-to-toe with big teams like that, it shows good leadership. Good, like their stars know their role. That coach should be commended. Pochettino is doing an amazing job.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We already talked about Chelsea Roma, Atletico with a drab 0-0 draw.
Yes, opportunity missed, but it's not as bad as Sevilla getting trounced 5-1.
Trounced, dude. Trounced by
Moscow. And then turning around and getting 4-0 at home to Valencia. I mean, in La Liga to Valencia a few days later.
And they're like dead, man. And this has been a pretty good team over the past few years, man.
How happy is their ex-coach who's now coaching Argentina is going to be like, whew, I'm going to be in the World Cup.
With Messi. Another interesting game, man. All scoring in the first half was Leipzig-Porto. Leipzig with the 3-2 win.
Yes, Leipzig is doing their thing. They're... Especially, like, when you go there, they're nice, but... I don't know, man. Ever since their one player, Emil Forsberg, came off the game because he said they were too loud, I lost a lot of respect for Leipzig, man.
Didn't have his wings.
The RB stands for real bitches.
Real bitches. Did not have his wings, son. Just to run through some other scores, man. Again, Manchester United with a super drab 1-0. Just whack, dude. Bayern got their mojo back a little bit. 3-0 over Celtic.
Thomas Muller is back on scoring form.
Even though I think he touched up and got injured over the weekend.
Yeah.
Barcelona with a 3-1 over Olympiacos. PSG with a 4-0 over Underlay, mommy. Liverpool bust all their goal nuts on NK Maribor. 7-0. They call this historic, I guess.
I mean, it is historic, but
it's like the most irrelevant history.
Yeah. Like as relevant as like the guy that invented the ridges on the end of stamps.
Damn, son. That's some freestyle shit right there. Monaco with a slight upset. Upset, man. They got beat at home by Besiktas 2-1.
Besiktas is nice.
For sure, dude. At the top of that group, man. Who would have actually thought that?
That's where Forsberg wanted to come off, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, no, they're so loud, these Turks.
Yep. And then
they're extra loud because you're German.
And And that's true, man. And Dortmund with the continuing of their disappointing European campaign, 1-1 draw away at Apoel.
Peter Bosch's time at Dortmund is not going to be long if he doesn't figure out what this thing that has been invented over the last 100 years called defending is.
Yeah,
you can't play Champions League football like that, boy.
Yeah, straight up, man. And I think last match I mentioned, man, Juventus 2-1, man. They needed an 84th minute goal after going down 1-0 from Mandzukic to turn that around.
Yes, Mandzukic did two amazing things. The first was scoring that goal to get them the victory over Sporting. But then he followed that up over the weekend by getting sent off.
Go ahead, Mario. I love that. I love that his name's Mario, dude. He just doesn't look like a Mario.
He is. You need some sort of like chain. You need to hold this guy. But anyways, he was disputing a penalty that shouldn't have been. Blah blah blah. Gets sent off early in the game. They play more than 60 minutes with 10 men against the Udinese team, who have started the season very shit. But a couple of weeks ago, beat a Sampdoria team that has beaten AC Milan 4-0. Like they're not unprofessionals. They got professional players, right?
Yeah.
So they played against them with 10 men for more than 60 minutes and scored. It was 2-1 at the time. Juventus had the lead at the time he got sent off. Udinese tied it at 2-2. The game ended at 6-2 Juventus.
I wish I could have saw that game, man.
I wish you could have seen that game too, because that would have shown you a lot about the strengths of a good, well-drilled 3-5-2 system. When the striker went out, all it meant was that if they moved right, they could still exploit the spaces that they had seen. Udinese being a team that's in the middle of, like when you're in a slump, you're not really doing good anyways, so they weren't closing down spaces. The man, Sami Khedira. This midfield of Sami Khedira and Miralem Pjanic.
Yeah.
Was, dude, if you could just cut out everybody else and just put the camera on those two guys for that game, it would have been worth watching. Like they put on a show. The headed goal, like they dismantled this team. And in Italy, like worldwide, even though recognized, but like this kind of result, Conte's first year, they had a lot of ties and they were like 11 points or something out of first place. And these are the kind of results that turn it around. And Juventus has been known to go on long winning streaks based on these kind of things. And Napoli, Inter, as good as they look, they should be afraid. This Juventus team owns Italy. This giant is awoken.
And I think it's worth mentioning, because the game wasn't really worth mentioning, but the result was a 0-0 draw. Napoli enter this week at the top of the table, so
which means that now Juventus is within 3 points of first place.
Exactly.
Yep. Like Juve has awoken. I don't know. I don't think they have a team that's gonna go far in Europe this year, which makes it actually more difficult for some people to uproot them. My advanced football thinking mind had picked AC Milan to finish in second place.
Yeah.
Now, in a Koeman-like move, they're traveling in the opposite direction of what I had expected from them.
Ooh, yeah.
So I hope that the guy doesn't get fired, Mr. Montella.
Yeah.
But Juve,
to your point, man, beware the old lady, man.
Beware the old lady when you're down to 10 men and you have 6 players that have more than a 7.5 who scored rating at the end of the game.
Yeah.
8 of their players had either a goal or an assist.
And if you've ever met an old Italian lady, you understand.
Yeah, they don't play.
Nah. Show. Nah, no doubt, man. Fascinating.
Anyways, just wanted to give him a big shout out. I haven't seen a 10-man team do that maybe ever. So I had to talk about that.
The only thing for my personal memory is I think a couple years ago in Champions League or something. I think it was Arsenal, actually. I think it was Bayern Arsenal, and Bayern went down 10 early. And dude, they just dominated the game. It
Wasn't
wasn't
that
a
the second leg after
What?
they had already beat them 5-0 in the first?
I think so, but but it was still like they dominated possession. That was what tripped me out. Like you see that a lot with Barcelona, but against such a quality, relatively quality opponent in Arsenal, dude. Like I was just amazed.
That's
by
the
that.
thing about Juve was that the directness and accuracy of their play is what set it apart because they had 44% possession.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, crazy.
Professional.
All right. So that's the first forward. Let's move on to the second forward section. Our awards. Award section, man. Dude of the week goes to.
Yes, due to Udinese sucking, we're not going to give it to Sami Khedira and his maiden hat trick. We're going to give it to the main man. Go ahead, sir.
KDB pass master Kevin De Bruyne.
The ginger Flemish.
Yeah. This dude this is like a cumulative award, man. Like when we talk about dude of the week, like he had fucking gorgeous assists in both the Champions League and the Premier League game during the week. And I mean, like he's just been putting curl on the balls, like he got activators, son. Like,
he's been imperious this season. Like he's been dominant. Wherever they play, like once they decided that number 8 position that he could just roam free, he played with 2 different strikers this week. One game with Aguero, one game with Jesus. And
Jin and Jesus.
And in both games, like he shined. Like there was a period where he'd get the assists and stuff, but he'd go long periods in games where he looked like shit. But like now, they were talking about he's got a diet. He's got a little more burst in his pace. Like this guy is on current form the Premier League's best player.
Yeah, definitely. The one thing that I would say, considering those 2 games, is that my man needs a rest, and at least he'll sit the Caribou match. Of course he will, but maybe make him a sub next weekend, man, because that's a tough run when you talk about Napoli. Man, you can't play him
if you sit him
week.
2 games, like he's good. Like, ooh.
I mean,
I get what you're saying. Get him out the Carabao, and then like maybe play him and sub him out after. But like on the form he's in, like that might kill his momentum too. It's a difficult job.
It is, man. It is. But man, I just felt like that first 30 minutes, he started to look tired to me. He's not my player, but
yeah, I just think that at 23 or whatever. If you have a week between games, then you're good. As long as he doesn't do anything, doesn't even travel with the team to the Carabao Cup, I think he's good next week.
Yeah, no doubt. We shall see. Man, twat happened. This goes to a large moment, a very large 30-minute moment. You know what this goes to? The twat happened moment was when this guy was making his lineup and game plan. Goes to
Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, man. We covered this in depth, but this dude deserves it, man. Like, come on, son.
It's been ignored. They've been dropping points. It hasn't been disastrous. We've been watching it. But on Sunday, in front of the whole world, in the premier matchup that everybody was watching, your defenders looked like a clown show. And you didn't address it. You made a lame attempt to make a 70. So the only thing you said was, we're going to try to buy a 70 million pound defender. And if that's not it, then everybody we got is good. And Matip, Lovren, and Alberto Moreno should not be still on your team. And they embarrassed you. Your own fuck-ups embarrassed you.
Yeah.
Enjoy that.
Yeah, for sure.
Arschloch.
All right, clappy clap. Goal of the week, man. This was some and one shit, homie. Please.
Sofiane Boufal.
Southeast.
Yeah. He's been actually considered a bit of a failure since he got there because they got him for, I think it's like their record signing. But he shook. You remember Hot Sauce on the N1's mixtapes? He got him with the hot sauce moves, dude. He got 2 guys to bump into. This is definitely gonna get tweeted. Check Diving for Glory Twitter page. This guy is too much. And the finish was beautiful.
So, yeah, it was like
Embarrassed the whole team.
it was like 3/4. It was 3/4.
There's still some people in West Bromwich looking confused.
Yeah, man, we need to get that on the Twitter because that shit was gorgeous.
Yes.
Worked him, and a beautiful finish, dude. Nice curl on a
Absolutely.
low ball to the corner, dude. Ooh.
Sofiane Boufal, remember the name so you can forget the name.
All right, we got one last award, man. The surprising stat of the week.
Man.
Yeah, man. Dude, Barcelona beat Malaga 2-0. Malaga had, of course, they had less possession, but they had more shots on goal. We're talking about bottom of the table, 1-win Malaga, dude. Like, this is like baffling to me how Barcelona has done this year, dude. Like, they keep run of play. This is not suggesting they should be 5 points and undefeated at the top of the table. This is just a fascinating stat to me, man.
It's crazy, but
Hey, you got Iniesta showing off, man.
yeah,
That's what happens.
We have Messi, like, they get the shot on target, but not all of them are like good shots on target.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Stegen is like, yes, shot on target, good for my stats.
Word up, surprising stat of the week. All right, man. Last for a
I
section.
like surprising stat of the week.
Yeah. Last, the upcoming games for the coming week, man. We got cup games. We're not really going to address those, man. They're too early in the stages. No real matchups that we're concerned with in this Carabao Cup in England. We got PSG Nice, OGC Nice, PSG OGC in France. Nice has been a disappointment. This will be a Neymar-less game, so it'll be interesting to see how Mbappe.
Mbappe, I would argue with you, has had just as good, if not better, of a start to his PSG career as Neymar has. Mbappe is quietly doing his thing. That Champions League game, he was balling out.
He was. The one little blip I'd say was this past weekend. He got pulled off that game, man, with a yellow card, and he just.
He's 18 years old. He's not ready for that kind of fighty game.
No, exactly, dude. He's 18. He's fucking 18. He's not even 19 yet. So, for sure, PSG Nice. Couple interesting matchups in La Liga. We got Atletico Villarreal. Couple teams that are, Atletico with a little struggle going on. Villarreal looking nice. They were a little bit dip in form, but
always like those two teams I like to watch them play because they're clashes. The team that's like really good at moving the ball around, and the other team is like really good at not letting you move the ball around. So it's a nice thing to watch.
Yep. And then the battle of the seditionists, Bilbao versus Barca at Bilbao.
Poor Spanish national anthem.
I
Get booed by 2 sets of fans.
Yes. Just to mention Real, of course, they are away at Mini City, Girona.
My Girona.
Yep.
Oh, pair Guardiola?
Pair. I got two pair. Italy, man, this looked like a juicy matchup about 3 weeks ago, but hey, we'll mention it for the hell of it. Juve away at AC. If there's ever a moment you could do something to rectify your season, this will be it, AC.
That's how I see it. I think it's a home game. If they play on a one-off game, they got talent. The thing about a team like AC is over the course of a season, they're not organized yet. But like, I think if they come hype, they can give them a challenge. I'm kind of excited about that game, as long as Juve doesn't score early.
Yeah.
If they do, then go out and go to a barbecue.
Yeah, that'll be a wrap. That's for sure. Interesting matchup in Germany. RB away at Bayern. RB is currently ahead of Bayern by right below Bayern by a point, I believe, in the table. If they could actually pull off that win, or at least get a point out of that, man, that'll be pretty much a victory for them.
I'm excited to watch that game. It's going to be indicative of where both these projects are currently in.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cup's on a good weekend too, because there's not a lot of good games, so I'm definitely going to sit down and watch that game.
Yeah, and there's only like 3 or 4, there's only about 5 or 6 good matches in Bundesliga in general throughout the year, and this is definitely one of them. So,
United Tottenham.
Yeah, man, biggest match of the weekend by far. United at Tottenham tied on points. United ahead on goal differential. It's at United. So it will be fascinating to see what Josie does, especially with Chelsea the following week. and your Champions League in between. Like, this could be an unraveling of Josie the next 7 days, man.
I'll go 3-1 top.
Man, that'd be brutal. That would be brutal.
Prove me wrong, Jose.
Jose. All right, man. That is a motherfucking wrap. That is the end. That is the match whistle right there. All my Depot Gistas.
Make sure you give us likes and follows, please.
Yeah, man. Thanks for tuning in this week. Diving for Glory posts every Tuesday on iTunes. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Diving for Glory. That's FOR, hashtag Diving for Glory. Like us, tag us, talk cash shit, homie. Or don't. Either way, we out.
Peace.
Diving.
He's not a man. There's nothing more to say.
Diving.